friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we've got a fun one. This is an easy, quick, fun little sew. We're gonna hack a pattern and then we're gonna create a pattern. So let's get started. Alright, before I get started, let me remind you to subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our hacks and tutorials and all these things. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see everything that we are making. And if you already subscribed, hit the like button, comment below, show us some love. So what we're doing today is I'm going to hack the Sew It Forward socks to be knee-high socks. It's getting a little chillier around here. I'm starting to take out my boots and all that stuff, and I just love knee-high socks that you can wear underneath your boots or underneath your pants if it's freezing outside. And I figured why not do that with the free Sew Forward sock pattern. So we're gonna do that. And then I also want to do a beanie. So we're gonna do an easy, simple, quick way to make a beanie. You don't even need a pattern. You're just gonna make it of the size of your head and go from there. So let's do it. First thing we're going to do is we're gonna work on our socks, and literally the only thing we've got to do now, I'm only gonna be cutting one because I already made one. I wanted to make sure the length was what I wanted, and it is. So I'm going to show you just exactly how I did it. I'm grabbing my front. This is my front piece, and it is going to be your longer piece. You have a front, you have a back, you have the band, and you have the sole, the bottom piece, okay? And so the front and the back top, it's what you're going to be changing. The ones that have the straight, the rounded at the bottom and straight at the top. And what I did to make it knee-high, I'm going to add 6 inches to the top of the sock, both the front and the back top. So I'm grabbing my ruler and I'm placing it at 6 inches. And when I'm cutting around my pattern, I'm going all the way up those 6 inches right here. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And that is going to allow me to go to my knee. Now, you might want it higher, you might want it lower, but you're just gonna have to figure out how much to add. Now remember, this is a free pattern, so you can go ahead and grab it on our website and sew it with me, ellieandmac.com. I'll attach the link below on where to get it. And if you're new to PDF patterns, there's also a video on how to download and how to print and how to do PDF patterns. It's super easy and super fun. So now I'm grabbing the back top. And I'm also, you know, it looks shorter, so you're like, do I have to add all that all the way up? No, 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 no. You're only adding 6 inches. You're adding the same amount of height that you added to the other piece, because we're just lengthening that pattern up. So I'm going all the way up, 6 inches. And now all I gotta do is sew it up like you would sew up the Sew It Forward socks. Everything else will stay the same height. It's just this part that's taller. Make sure I did 6 inches. 6 inches was right here. And you know what? I'm doing stripes. I probably should have looked at the stripes and stripe match, but you know, I didn't on my other socks, so I'm not going on this one either. It's fine. These are gonna be fun socks, and I'm okay with that. Now, actually I said we're gonna keep everything the same. I actually wanted my band to be a little bit longer, so I'm gonna add 2 inches to the width of my band. So once we're gonna sew this band on, this is gonna get folded in half, so this is how wide it's gonna be, about 1 inch. I wanted it to be like wider than that, so I'm adding 2 inches. So I just measure my 2 inches, and I'm gonna place my pattern right there, 2 inches. And I'm just cutting around it. Again, I'm only making one sock since I already made another one. So that's why I'm only cutting one. All right, there's my band and then my sole. Now we're gonna sew it. We're gonna grab our bottom piece, we're gonna lay it out. We're gonna grab our shorter piece, which is our back piece. See, there's a tall one, there's a shorter one. And around the rounded edge, we're gonna grab both rounded edges and meet them together, right sides together. And here on your pattern piece, you have little arrows that show you where to stop. So I'm gonna clip and mark that little arrows where it's at. And I'm gonna sew this right here, right sides together. I'm gonna go over there and sew it real quick. Sewn together. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it. Once it's sewn together, we're gonna open it. We're gonna place our front sock, the rounded piece down here, and then the top all the way around. Look at that. What are the odds? Look at how it's lining up. We'll see if I get it done right. I'm telling you, whenever I don't even try to pattern match, sometimes it just happens to happen. We'll see. Anyway, we're gonna sew all the way around, and we're gonna prep our band by sewing it, folding it right sides together and sewing that short raw edge. And I'm gonna show you how to sew this, so I'm gonna bring you over there and sew it with you. I like to start at one end of the top. And I like to have this back piece facing up so I can see it, because right here I'm going to hold it down as I sew over it so it's not caught. And I'm gonna keep going all the way around to the other side. All right, I'm gonna grab that cuff and turn it wrong sides together like so and match up those raw edges at the top. I'm gonna clip right here at the seam, and then I'm gonna clip right here at the other end. I'm gonna grab my sock and I'm gonna fit this right into my sock, the top of my sock, and I'm gonna match up the seam, the one side where I marked it half, and then the other side where the seam is. And I'm going to sew it around and we'll be done with that sock. Our socks are done. Dun, dun, dun. How cute did these turn out? I love this. Now I can go ahead and wear my boots, and my legs will be nice and warm and cozy in this knee-high socks. Again, you can add more length to it, make them thigh-highs for all if you want to. Looks so cute. Don't worry about the pattern striping. It matches on this side. That's all I care about. Not really. I don't really care. But super cute. Let's move on to our beanie. All right, friends, how easy were those socks? Super, super easy. And I was hoping I had enough fabric to make the beanie out of the same fabric, but I don't. I already made a top. I made knee-high socks. What else do I want from the same amount of fabric? I did not buy extra for the hat. Okay, so we're gonna use this fabric, and I'm just using a light, this is a waffle, but you can really use any knit fabric. It's gotta be a stretch fabric. I'm gonna grab my measuring tape first. I'm gonna measure my circumference of my head. Mine is 22, or whoever you're making the hat for. And then I'm going from my eyebrow, like where I want my hat to land, all the way to the back. And that is 16. So it's 22 and 16. And I go a little bit down. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and I'm gonna grab my fabric and we're going to cut it. I'm gonna show you how. Make sure that you cut it along the stretch. So it's gonna stretch correctly. Now fold it in half. Since I'm folded it in half, 22 was around my head, so that would be 11 because that's half of 22. But I'm going to subtract an inch out of 11, which is really 2 inches, so that instead of being 22, it would be 20. So instead of being 11, it would be 10. So we're going 10 this way. And then from the bottom to the top was 16. So 16 would be 8, right? But instead of doing 8, I'm gonna add 2 inches. So it has a little bit of gathering at the top of the beanie. So we're gonna go to 10 up to 10, and we're gonna go over 10. So I'm basically, for my size head, making a square. 10, 10. And I'm gonna measure this better because I just kind of went for it. 10. Here's 10. Making sure it's all even. All right, so there's my one piece, and we're gonna do that twice. We want 2 of them because we're gonna line it. You're probably like, oh my goodness, you're not even measuring correctly. You know what? It's a beanie. It's gonna be just fine. That's why I don't really worry about it. If you want to make sure that you measure it all correctly, you can do that. That's fine. I'm going to place, so here's where my opening is right here. I'm just going to fold it right up. You can do one at a time. I'm just placing both of them right on top of each other because I want to make sure that I line them up correctly so that pretty much the rounded top will be the same. So this is going to be my top, and this fabric is really thin, so it like loses its shape really easily. It's going to be okay. We're going to fold it in half, and we're going to cut. This is the side we're going to cut. So I'm going to go down 2 inches from the top, which is where I started basically, and I'm going to mark it right here. So there's 2 inches, and I'm going to go 2 inches this way. So it's going to be around right here. Okay, and so there's that corner, and with my scissors, I'm just going to go from this 2 inches right here, and I'm going to cut around to my other mark right here where my other 2 inches are. Now you can measure in and like draw a little line. If you want to create a pattern piece, you can do that, but I just go for it. There is my beanie shape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I can sew both of these together. Here's my one, right side together, and then the other one, right sides together. Or you can open it up and sew it the other way. We're gonna sew, I'm gonna sew right here, right sides together. And that raw edge. One edge is already closed in, so we're gonna have a seam on one side. Now, if you want the seam to be in the back, then you're gonna fold it down the middle so that your seam is up here or in the back, so then when you do this curve, it's the other way. The curve goes over here in this corner. I hope that makes sense. If you want this curve to be in if you want the seam to be on the side, then you want the curve to be the other way. So you would fold the curve, you would fold the fabric like this, where they meet in the middle, and then you would make the curve. I don't really mind it being on the side, the seam being on the side, but that is up to you. So now we're gonna sew that side together. So we're gonna sew that side, and we're gonna continue all the way around the top. Now if you want, you can stop there, they're around, or you can go straight and then you have a seam on both sides. So I went and sewed up and around the top, the crown. Like I said, if you wanted to go all the way down this side, then you have a seam on this side and on this side, but I don't really care, so I just went to the end with the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn one of them right side out, and the other one's going to be inside out, and I'm going to fit one into the other. Now, you could have, if you wanted to, leave a gap to turn it out right here so you don't see a seam, or I'm going to sew it around the rim, right sides together, and I'm going to leave a little opening, and then I'm going to turn it out through that opening and then close it back up. If you do it the same stitch it the same color, nobody's even going to be able to see it, so it's no big deal. But if you wanted to, you could leave the gap anywhere else, and then you really wouldn't be able to see it because it will just be in the liner. All right, so now we're going to sew this together right here. So now here at my gap, I'm going to turn my beanie right side out, and you can tuck that in, and you can go ahead and top stitch it closed right there, or stitch it from the inside like a ladder stitch, or however you want to do that. And then you're going to tuck one inside the other, and your beanie is done. Then what I'm going to do is up here at the top, I'm going to add a pom-pom. This pom-pom comes with like a little thing right here. I got this one from Mocha's Closet, and I'm just going to sew it right on there. I'm just going to hand stitch it on to my beanie, and then I'm going to show you just what it looks like. All right, friends, our beanie is finished. It is super cute, and that was super simple. and super quick to sew. Was it not? Let me know below. I know that I'm making it for myself and I'm just kind of doing it a quick sew. I didn't really take that much time to focus on the little details. So if you're making this for somebody else or selling it or something like that, if you want to focus on those little details, like if you want to have 2 lines on both, 2 seams on each side, you can do that. Or if the, you know, where the opening was, you can do that on the inside, on the liner, leave a gap on the liner so you don't see the stitching, which I don't think it's that big of a deal, but if you do think so. And if you wanted to have a brim, now this one has a little bit of a brim because this fabric is super stretchy, but if you want to have a brim with a fabric that's not so stretchy, you may want to add more than just the 2 inches that I added. I added 2 inches because I wanted it to be kind of slouchy, but you can add more than 2 inches and then you have more of an area that you can go ahead and fold it up and it'd be a brim. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the socks as well. Now you've got some knee-high socks and a cute little beanie ready for the winter time. Go sew them up and show us some love. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't so you never miss any of our tutorials. Come find us on Facebook and Instagram so you can share what you're making. We want to see it. And you can see what everybody else is making and you can be inspired. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you all next time. Bye!